Noshir, thank you so much for talking to us. We saw a digital reset of a different kind in the last few years, where we saw this rapid acceleration, digital transformation, migration to cloud. Are we going to see a digital reset of a different kind this year? Because companies want to look at how they can rein in costs. The focus is back on profitability. What is your own sense?
Thank you, Chandra. Firstly, it's lovely to be back here as always. It's great to have NASSCOM in a physical environment. What we are seeing is two sides of the coin. Firstly, we are seeing that companies, overall clients, their investment in technology continues to go up. So it was actually 2 years back, it was about on average 3% of revenue. Today, it's closer to 4%. Right? So in the last 2 years, we've seen 100 basis points increase in investment in technology. Having said that, in the next 12 to 18 to 24 months, we're going to see a moderation of the growth rate back to what was pre-pandemic levels. So we're going to see about a 300 to 400 basis points, roughly speaking, on average, a moderation in the growth rate going forward in the next 18 to 24 months is our best guess.
Right. And what kind of variations do you see as far as tech services is concerned? Any headwinds that we should know about?
I think there are a couple of things, right? Obviously, there are some industries that have actually seen the worst constriction of spending, both from a market cap perspective, but also from just an investment and a growth perspective. So there are clearly industries on the left-hand side of the curve where actually spending will be curtailed, right? And you know what they are. They've gone through the headwinds. On the other side, take utilities, for example, oil and gas. They've actually seen a growth increase in terms of the overall revenue that the companies earn. And in services, you always say when your clients do well, you do well, right? On the other side, again, if you look at certain areas like data on cloud, we're going to absolutely see an explosion, right? Having said that, when you look at just lift and shift cloud migrations, a lot of them have not gone towards what the original business case has promised. So there's going to be a management of the spend towards cloud transformation. There's going to be an explosion of spend on data on cloud. So we're going to have a mix of portfolio. Some are exploding and some are contracting.
Right. And Noshir, for the longest time, there's been discussion about entry-level salaries in IT. Do you think the time's now come to recalibrate that, because the differential between CEO and fresher is only going up with every passing year?
So I think, the last 2 years have been particularly crazy on the talent front, to be honest. I mean, everybody's seen that. You've heard that talking about it. We have seen a moderation of that, and particularly in the last 6 months, I think that moderation will continue. However, the shortage of good technical talent is here to stay. And despite everything that you see, I mean, you just look at the job postings in the US. Across the world, currently in the tech space, we have 1.6 million job postings, which are currently unfulfilled. Right? And if you look at that, that's a massive number. And so I think good quality, skilled technology talent will always be in short supply. And for that reason, I don't personally subscribe to the view that the worst talent supply chain problem is behind us. I still think you're going to see wage inflation. I still think you're going to see hotspots of digital talent continuing to be very scarce. And that's good for our talent and our developers. And it's also good for India because we continue to be the source of talent for the world.
Right. Noshir, have you been playing around with ChatGPT? And what's your take on how ChatGPT and broadly generative AI is going to impact the IT services industry as we know?
I think we've all played around with ChatGPT and had our own laughs and scares and been genuinely terrified at certain things that have happened. I think there are a number of things to actually worry about in terms of bias, security, all of the things that are there, which are the dark side of the large language models. Having said that, we think when they are properly curated, trained, and managed, these kind of large language models and automation and generative AI in general will probably give us the opportunity to add productivity to the extent of 20 to 40% of what we do today. I don't think those people will necessarily just exit the system, because what we've seen in the past is that when work gets automated, new work gets added. I still think that for good technology skills, that will happen. But companies will be forced to move up the stack very quickly, much faster than they have ever done. And 20 to 40%, even if that number is remotely correct, is a massive number.
On that note, thank you very much for talking to us, Noshir. Thank you.